Ahora de Cuba la Bella, del Palacio de los Jugos.
Los chicharrones.
Los vecinos aquí se enteran de todo.
Mi vecina era CDR en Cuba.
Y en verdad no hay nothing that you can do. Chacleteras sin llames con corbata.
Aquí yo vendo hot dog, pero en Cuba yo era médico.
Les saco el dedo y digo Q. Sweet home Hialeah. Solo 30 minutos de Le Fallo. Oh, sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. I'm your host, Bobby El Gringo, or Bobby Finstock on Twitter and elsewhere, and that's Alex the Boy, host of Fast Break, co-host of East 10th Street Boys.
Yes, sir.
Vito in the house. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone who's tuning in, whether you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook,
Tati literally
YouTube.
in the house.
Tati literally in the house. Appreciate you all. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe. We got so much to talk about that I haven't already talked already, but I want to talk some more. How about them Dolphins? Starting off with a huge win, a shootout win, 36-34 over the Chargers. Clutch throws in the end, clutch catches by Tyreek, clutch throws by Tua. I am saying it here, the best team in football, maybe the best offense in football right now. Team, there's some work to do. We'll touch on that. Yes, we got some questions on defense. I know the guys have been going back and forth on DMs and all that, but I just want to enjoy the win right now. I touched on it on post game yesterday. And how about them Cowboys for Josh Wingate? The Dallas Cowboys stuffing the Giants. I mean, goodness gracious.
Noah scored a touchdown.
Noah Igbenogany, a round of applause. Former Miami Dolphins legend Noah Igbenogany.
Yes, sir.
Scores a touchdown on special teams. But before we get into that, Alex, how the hell are you, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Same on my end. Enjoying. Kind of like what we expected for the most part. It's fun to see it come to fruition in the regards to a confidence tool, a confidence offense, a high octane offense, an explosive offense. So it's just cool. Now I think I have an idea now how fans felt in the 80s when they had Marino just gunslinging back and forth with Mark Clayton and Mark Duper, because that's the feeling that I get. So it's fun to have a team of this caliber after so many years of gutting out 17 or 14 wins, boring football. And it's just a different perspective. And I just really hope fans get to appreciate it for what it is and don't overanalyze absolutely everything.
Well, yeah, you can enjoy the win. This is the way I kind of said it yesterday. First off, especially with post game, that's the role, that's the job I give people who are on post game, and that's what the job I myself. We're celebrating a win, but we're also looking at what the flaws were. What are the things they have to work on for next week?
Absolutely.
I will say, despite some of the question marks and the things you come out and go, damn, man, they could have done this better. Man, they didn't run the ball enough. Defense led a lot of points on the board. And, they showed up in the end, but the rushing defense was terrible. All of that, despite all of that, they still got the win. And that's the thing to
On
look
the
at.
road.
Despite
In
it
San
all,
Diego.
they were able to
LA.
win. And it's true, I don't think at one time I felt when the Chargers scored or whatever, whenever Miami had, even with the snap issues, which were not really on Connor, in my opinion, they were on the quarterback. It seems like miscommunication. But despite that, I never felt at one time that Miami was not going to score. I felt like Miami's offense was just, they were on fire. It was crazy.
And that's credit to McDaniel too. He's an aggressive coach.
Well, he is. I will touch on, the running game. I thought the running game looked very good in the first half. Raheem Mostert was looking good, but it just seemed like he just stopped. He just went to the passing game. And it could be, hey, look, they can't stop our passing game. They're going to continue to score. We got to maybe make an adjustment. Maybe it was an adjustment. Maybe it continues that way because – or maybe as the guy, Steve said it looked like the Chargers may have stopped it. I don't think that. Steve Malloy of Real Talk, Evan and Brett both said that they think that it was just Miami just stopped running the ball, that they chose to. I think that's probably why Miami is looking for maybe they did. Maybe they said they just don't trust their running game, where they say, hey, we know what we have in our passing game. Let's go ahead and seal this deal where – maybe that's why they're going after. They're trying to get a star back. Maybe they're trying to get a legit running back, so then they could say we could trust this guy. I don't know, but just overall, I talked yesterday about the game. We'll continue, but I want to know you haven't had a chance to touch on it. What did you think of that football game? What stood out to you? And then we'll get your studs and duds right after.
Well, what stood out to me the most is, like I mentioned, the aggressive nature and also the confidence in which they were playing. And don't get me wrong, I understand the situation with the defense. As fans, obviously, we're used with the personnel that we have. There was no excuse whatsoever for the amount of yardage we give up on the ground alone. So that part I understand. I understand the red flags that raises. I'm still fully confident in what we have, in even the Jalen Phillips, in Agba, in Chubb. I do believe Fangio will make the necessary adjustments with the personnel that he have. One of the things to me that he used, for example, Holland, I think Holland got a career high in tackles because Fangio likes to use his most skilled players in the best positions possible. So I'm all for that. What impressed me the most is that this team, from head coach down, finally feels free to play its way, its style. And Mike McDaniel coached situations where going forth on 4th and 7, instead of taking a knee and going into halftime, taking a shot down the field, getting a penalty, an unnecessary pass interference that leads to a field goal. Those are winning plays that makes the difference in the end. So overall, what impressed me the most is the way Tua commanded the pocket, the way Tua commanded the offense, the way we already know this from the past year, his resiliency, his gap from turnover or mistake to next play mentality. It was something that when it was with Flores, he was overthinking. Now with McDaniel, he has someone in his corner that this offense is tailored for him. It helps to have the speed of Hill and Waddle and even the running game, which a lot of people talk about this running game, and I understand we want to have parity, but the reason I like to think about it, I like to compare it to like the Chiefs, like 2 or 3 years ago. There was times that the Chiefs threw the ball 50 times a game and they only ran it 15, 20. No one was questioning that because that was their offensive style. Their weapons is Kelsey, Hill. In our situation, our main weapons are Hill and Waddle. So even in crunch time, you're going to go to your weapons. You want the ball. You want the ball in your best player's hands. Obviously, you're going to incorporate the run. You're going to try to balance it out. There's games that the run might win us that ball game. And look at this. It's the beauty of this where the defense struggles. And yes, the offense was explosive and threw 466 yards, 220-something yards receiving for Hill, 2 touchdowns. But the game was decided on a defensive stop. So it's the ultimate team sport. It's only to me personally, is only up from here. And the fact that we went on the road, which I believe last year people were talking about, this was one of the defenses that gave Tua the most trouble. And he finally figured out you really can't play man coverage on Tua. You can play zone coverage on Tua. So we arguably have the most versatile quarterback in the NFL right now due to the personnel that we have. And you have a head coach. I don't think there's a perfect pairing. A lot of people like to say Tua and Tyreek. I don't think there's a better pairing when it comes to head coach and quarterback in the league, because this head coach is built to coach Tua, and this quarterback is built for his type of offense with Hill and Waddle. So to me, it was a whole offseason of questioning, even with the O-line, which to me, those were my studs. The O-line performed above. I know Tua's pocket presence, his mobility, extending the plays, but I think the O-line stood out because they overachieved any of our expectations as fans. Because we all went in there, and this guy, who started left tackle, is it Lamb? What's his last name? I always forget.
Lamb. Mm-hmm.
To me, Bob, is incredible what I'm about to say, but I was thinking about it this whole weekend, and I'm like, he might be the most important depth piece that we have in the whole team. Because he can play any tackle position. And that, to me, is Austin Jackson. Performed well. I was very impressed with the way he handled Boza, Mack on the other side with him. So it was just an overall great offensive performance. I understand we have a lot of things to clean up. O-line sometimes works. Snapping issues, defense. But I was very excited about what I saw, man.
Let me just say very quick, Josh Wingate's in the comments, host of the Beer and Sports Podcast. They just had a show. If you haven't had a chance to go see it, go check it out. He also, knows a lot about football and the draft, but he has some great things that he's put on here. Things, you can't judge this.
He's just a Cowboys fan. You can't be perfect, but
can't judge this defense as a whole for 3 to 4 weeks. If it doesn't improve each week, then get concerned. But this defense needs time to get gel and become a unit.
Thank you, Josh.
And Tua struggled early, first quarter-ish, but came together and played lights out. His pass for touchdown over the defender was a thing of beauty. So
and Hill sold that perfectly. A lot of people talking about the pass. Hill played that perfectly, man. He didn't raise his hand. He didn't do anything. No, it went right to the bread.
Well, I can see. I get where, because I where it would say it was Tua's struggle. And the first part, Tua was making some throws where you kind of went, it's like 3 people. There was a lot of things. But to me, of course you get nervous and you're like, oh crap, there was a turnover. But for me, it was more of like, it showed that he has trust in his arm and the receiver to make that play. And lo and behold, it wasn't 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. It was 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Now, the one thing I noticed yesterday, somebody asked, and I believe it was Steve, does Tua look like his arm strength has gotten better? And no, it looks the same. What I will say got better that I saw yesterday is his mechanics, the way he sets himself up to make those throws. That touchdown pass where
the line a little bit. That it naturally does happen.
That line that when it started closing in and he stepped into the pocket and he threw it as he was running forward and it went right into the breadbasket of Tyreek. And you were right. Tyreek never went. Tyreek just went, bam, got it, and got caught. Probably one of the best throws I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Great throw. You see the growth. And one thing that stood out to me, again, people can talk about the 400 and some odd yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Abso-freaking-lutely. In a shootout against Herbert, great thing to see. What I was impressed with, again, was seeing the ball placement, the way he was the awareness of the pocket, but also when the better decision making.
Yes.
Running.
He was assertive.
Look, when he knew to throw the ball away, he threw the ball away. He made a run for a first down. He didn't go to try to truck. He went and slid. Those are the type of things that I wanted to see improve because, listen, we all say Tua is very important to this team. Tua has to make better decisions, not getting hurt. If you're that important to the team, you need to make smarter decisions. I know you want to play hero ball, but you need to be smart. And that was something that I saw because I want him to play more than 13 games. We all do. Absolutely. I said 15 games. The best scenario is the whole season. Tua is looking thick. He looks built. He looks more like in shape. Strong. I mean, it's not like but he looks like he's put on some, but not in a bad way. He looks like he could take a hit, and I think he's preparing for that.
It's funny. He's starting to like his build. He's starting to look a little bit like Russell Wilson, but even a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
That's it's crazy, but he's gonna lose a few pounds obviously during the course of the season. But it was a nice reflection of the way he handled pressure and the way he handled you weren't nervous if he was gonna get hit, Bob. I don't know if you saw it was his demeanor. Like even if we gotten hit, and
I'm gonna be honest with you. No. I never, not one time did, again, at the beginning when the type of throws that were being made at first, I was going, but it wasn't like I was never concerned that we were going to fall behind, and even if we did, I wasn't concerned we weren't going to score right again.
Yeah.
The key was then again the defense, and I agree with Josh, and I'm going to roll with that. You cannot judge this defense for the first 3 to 4 weeks. You got to see how they gel as a unit, gel under Fangio, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the running attack was abysmal. Not enough pressure on the quarterback except for the end. In the end, they sealed the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kader Kohu really stepped up. He got that sack, and then of course Jalen Phillips and Bethel finished the deal and finished the win.
You know what? I was surprised. I know he's obviously a rookie, a Long Junior. Not a rookie, but I expected him to play a little bit more. David, is it David Long or am I
David Long's a linebacker. He's not a rookie. He's from the Titans.
He's from the Titans. Yeah, sorry that he was our signing this offseason, and I expected him to play more because I think in this defense.
Linebackers struggled. The linebackers were overall. I mean, Xavier Howard had 3 penalties, 2 pass interferences, 1 illegal touch,
which was very uncharacteristic.
And he didn't do bad. Like if you watch it a little bit, he didn't do bad, but those were killers.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I was very impressed with Kader Kohu. Javon Holland did really well. Jalen Phillips and Christian Wilkins got a big stop on a run, but Jalen Phillips got the final nail in the coffin. So those are the bright spots. But you're looking forward to New England. You have to do better in that rushing defense because Bill Belichick will catch you sleeping. He will expose that, and you don't want an upset on Sunday Night Football. Did Calvin Joseph play? I believe he did, but I don't. Not enough for me to remember anything. Yeah, he probably played.
Even Brandon Jones is getting built back little by little.
Yeah.
And Jalen Ramsey, when he comes back, to me, I'm telling you, we're not going to be able to judge this defense until like November, December, fully.
Listen, I saw some people saying this on through social media, et cetera, about this team possibly being the best in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to say that yet in regards because defense has to come up to the offense's level. The running game, yes, passing game. Here's my thing with the passing game because you said it earlier. You were talking about Kansas City. Here's the thing: the Dolphins played like they did at the first half of last season. You think about after that Baltimore game, they really started to step up and it wasn't till the Baltimore game where Miami's offense really opened up as a passing game and a passing threat. Miami started week 1 this year. I mean, that passing attack is freaking dangerous.
They're comfortable, man. This is year 2 in the system. They're comfortable.
If Miami could find a running back that they're comfortable with, to me, they could be the next great show, best show on turf, whatever that was called.
The greatest show on turf. The Rams.
They could be the next one. They just need their Marshall Faulk. They need
Jonathan
that
Taylor. Jonathan Taylor.
But that's what I'm saying. But no, I would say it's the best team in football right now. Won't go there. They had the best win. It was the best game all week. This game here is already looking like a joke. 3-0. I don't know what the score is now. I turned it off. But Aaron Rodgers is hurt. Hopefully everything's okay to a point. It's the Jets or whatever. But Aaron Rodgers hurt. They were down 3-0. I don't have the score in front of me. But this so far has been the best game. I will say this. I'm not ready to say best team in football, but I am ready to say best offense in football.
It's that, Bob.
But here's the thing. It doesn't even have a running game yet.
That's the thing.
And whether that's the coaches doing or because we don't have that back.
And what's crazy that we're saying that they don't have a running game yet. They averaged 3.5 yards per carry when they ran the ball. So it's still even
before they stopped running, they were averaging almost 7-some yards per carry. That's the crazy, and that's why I was like, dude, why did we stop?
I think honestly it's by choice, man. I think it's by choice, game flow. I don't know because McDaniel. What to me was amazing, first score of the season was a rushing touchdown, and McDaniel seemed to go by an even play calling, but I think it's just the feel of the game, how he goes. There's some games that Mostert might be going off, and I really think, Bob, though, our running game is going to go to the next levels when a chain comes back. I have this feeling that when he comes back, he's going to be incorporated into this passing game as well, where it becomes an ultimate weapon. Think about that. This offense is so fast. People were talking about Hill and Waddle. Can you imagine a chain running next to Hill and Waddle? I think of him as like Etienne from the Jaguars, just like that same. May play and run that's true. If you see Dak Prescott's stat line, you don't think that they won 40-0. He threw for 121 yards.
But that's the way you want your team to win,
Of course.
When you don't have to do And that's the thing. If Miami, like, yes, it's easy to say, oh, let's air it out. But if you don't have a rushing game or you're not committed to the run game,
Of course, you have
in
to.
that situation, you can't run out the clock, can't
Hey,
protect the ball.
a question
You-
for Josh. Can we say Dallas is the best defense in the NFL, Josh? Or like, was it like an overperformance, or can we bluntly say Dallas is the top 2, top 3 defense in the NFL? Because they dominated, man. They made the Giants look inept. And we knew this was going to happen. Also, the Giants don't really have a playmaker and wide receiver. They gave this massive amount of money for Daniel Jones. Your top playmakers who? Saquon Barkley and your tight end Waller. So there's a lot of situations going on that it's funny because a few years ago, people saw winning. Oh.
I don't know. I think so.
A few years ago, people saw Tua's situation in Miami with Brian Flores as the head coach, and it looked very bleak because we have built this team around Tua. We won, so now you have a whole different perspective. It's incredible what a year and a half does when you come and you have an offensive-minded coach that is willing to be aggressive with his play calling, with the team build. Like the whole dynamic change in the organization, man. Like we talked about this last year. Like the team is taking on the characteristic. And by the way, I don't know if you saw the piece on McDaniel that they did on Sunday NFL Countdown, the 10-minute piece that Jeff Darlington talking about his alcoholism.
I saw Darlington, yeah.
Oh man, Bob, when you can't take a chance to look at it, it just makes McDaniel so relatable to the players, where you can see he's a player's coach, man. And it's just that's the connection, that's the future of the NFL.
So I just want to touch because you brought up the defense, and I want to look at the rankings.
Yeah.
I mean, it is week 1, and I agree it's too
Yeah,
early
it's
to say
early.
anything.
It's early.
But right now, the number 1 offense in the NFL is the Miami Dolphins. The 536 yards, 466 passing
with ease, Bob. That's the scary thing, man.
Yeah, and then of course the number 1 defense is going right now at per this. The stat line is the Cleveland Browns with Dallas right behind them. What Cleveland did to Cincinnati, hey, you know what? Burrow, Hurts, Herbert struggled. Burrow more than anybody. Jordan Phillips, congratulations to Stager, had a very damn good game. The Packers looked really good. Good for them.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. What did I say?
Phillips.
What did I say? Oh, Jordan Love. Sorry, my mind's on Miami. But Tua again, monster game. But that's the thing though. You don't always want to rely on. You don't want to become run dimensional because eventually you might fall behind and somebody might, they cover the pass and then you have to run and then you get stuck. You're pulling from behind. It can get tough. Oh, hello, Jamie. Hello.
Why did you just turn like you were from London? Like you
Hello,
just turned
Jamie.
British, man.
Hello, Mike.
You sound like
British
you're from London.
You're from London. You're from London. Why Wingate's here? We're talking NFL, but Wingate's like, I'm only here. I'm not really here to talk NFL. I'm here to talk about cereal, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Oh, Wingate for sure. You got to stick around for the cereal talk, man.
He is. He loves talking about cereal too. But no, I mean, overall, I mean, it looks if you look at, let me pull this up here again. Tua 28 of 45, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, a pick. Raheem Mostert, that's what's crazy. I'll talk about the running game for a second. Eric Izukama, Easy.
Yeah,
2 rushes for 17 yards. I mean, I'm intrigued by that. And we talked about it last night. Durham Smythe, you look at the numbers and you go, nothing, not too much. No, those were some.
When you saw the game, you saw his effect.
They were impressive catches, 3 catches for 44 yards. I'm very intrigued. Like the passing game, surprisingly enough, even though Tyreek obviously got the ball the most, the passing game looked to me, and it's still early, way more impressive than it did last year. And it's only 1 game, but it looked way more impressive. Now, credit the Chargers and the Dolphins are 32 and 31 right now in defense, but it's only week 1. But because of what
Chargers have a decent defense, Bob, and
those star power, but their defense was bad in the rankings last year. They were. Let's see, Chargers. Yeah, they were right above Miami. I think they were the 20th. Yeah, the 20th defense in the NFL. Okay. You can have all the star power in the world. That's my thing. People get blinded by star power.
Mhm.
but it's about how you use that. Now,
Of course.
again, you look at what was the position that I was pounding the table for in the offseason was, well, obviously running back was one, but the draft was tight end. Darnell Washington was my main dude. And they ended up going with, they just decided, hey, we'll go get Elijah Higgins and sign Julian Hill, who didn't, didn't have it, but we're going to keep it Durham Smythe, like a sicky lead. And you go, well, damn, all right, shoot. And what did they do? Durham Smythe only had 3 receptions for 44 yards, no touchdowns, but they were huge catches for 3 receptions. And it really, and Brett was the one who said it, and I agree. Same thing with Alec Ingold. Yeah, good kudos to the players, but it's really how they were used that was impressive.
Exactly.
The Mike McDaniel, the way that was implemented. So to me, in his second year with this offense, with the quarterback, with his system in play, he's going to let, again, the defense did struggle, but you were still able to win that game. And you still have 3 to 4 weeks to implement your defense to get it gelling. Because once your defense starts to come along, if and when, your offense it'll be easier for your offense not to have to score so many points.
Exactly. But like you mentioned, you can win games in a shootout because you have that high-powered offense until your defense is ready to perform. And like I said, don't get me wrong, we might lose a few games in a shootout. I mean, highly doubtful that anybody really can gun with us, except maybe like the Chiefs.
That is a great. I'm sorry, Alex. Wingate. That is a great idea.
That is amazing.
Holy crap! We need a serial awards for each, like Captain Crunch, Defensive Player of the Game.
I love
cool.
that. We could like clutch performance because oh man, okay, I like this. I like where this is going, Josh.
I'm gonna play with that. Wingate. We might have to have you in here for that.
I like it.
We might have to have you come in for a little bit each week if you're free, just to do that, and maybe let you do it. I could create the graphics and then you let me know beforehand. Maybe we'll work on something. Perfect. I love that. That's a damn good idea. Wingate's one of the best, dude.
See, bro, Josh in the clutch, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, before I forget, this is the only thing I want to say. What is scary, Bob, and what people are people took for granted because obviously we just retweet, we post a lot of shit, and we overanalyze certain aspects. Mike McDaniel, comfortable, allowed to be himself. With the speed of this offense and the space that he creates, there's really no adjustments any defense can make in game time that I don't think Mike McDaniel can counter. This is where, to me, Bob, I'm not saying he's there, but when it comes to countering and adjustments, this is where Mike McDaniel reminds me of Eric Spoelstra. There are some in-game adjusters, there are some halftime adjusters, and there are some after-the-fact adjusters. I think this offense and the comfort level that the players have with McDaniel and that McDaniel has it within himself is going to be key this year because I don't think there's an adjustment that he cannot counter in game. Unless, I'm saying, we're not going to be perfect. We might lose a few games here and there. But I really think the only thing that can derail this team is injuries to key positions where it affects your speed. Think about this. Jalen Waddle became an afterthought to stat-wise. But one of the reasons Tyreek Hill can do what he does is because you got Jalen Waddle on the other side. They have to account for that speed. When a chain comes in, that's another person you have to account. So you have weapons and you have arguably the quickest decision maker in the NFL in Tua. Tua goes through his progressions really quick. And that used to be one of his flaws that people also that comes into and I think is going to be magnified as the weeks go on and the season goes on. O-line even. One of the best things that they have is the results that you see is coaching and comfort level, coaching, trust, repetition, relationships. One of the things that they talked about, that this was what Dan Marino gave them advice, is getting together after practices, receivers and their quarterbacks to get on the same page, which you typically know that they do, but it takes another level of comfort level where when I turn around, the ball's going to be right there. And Tua knows if Tyreek just gives one little finger wangle, he's going to go left. Like, those are things that you build a rapport with repetition. So I'm telling you, Bob, this is something we talked in the offseason. I have even some of my friends here in Miami, they were scared about this offense. I'm like, guys, are you serious? What do you mean you're scared of this offense? Do you know what McDaniel could do in his second year on a comfort level with the speed that you have and Tua working on his game all offseason? I'm like, this year offense is going to be on point. And I was just watching it. It's still a little surreal to me when you go, because we saw the Baltimore game last year and we saw what he can do in a half. But I'm like, can this be done the whole game? And like, I agree with what you said. Not one single moment that I see the back and forth that I not feel confident that we're going to go down and score the ball. So
I will say, see, the thing is, can we do this the whole game? I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about, in regards of that question, what am I worried about? I'm worried, can this last the whole season? And if you if you become a prisoner of just one fragment of the offense, which that's what happened with Miami last year, injuries come into play, but really the reality is Miami was 8-3 beforehand. Okay, they were one of the top, if not the top offense last season during that run, during that stretch. Tua was an MVP candidate after that Baltimore game, and then before Tua got hurt, they went on that 5-game skid where they couldn't get really much done. Tua struggled against the Chargers, against the Bengals, against whatever, and before he got injured and it was out for the rest of the season, he was struggling. The whole offense, the team was struggling at that point.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel couldn't adjust. You're talking about, the adjustments is the other thing. He didn't really need to adjust yesterday, except he's decided not to run anymore. He didn't need to adjust yesterday because his offense kept scoring. But there's going to come a time and a place, because NFL, the defenses and coaches are smarter than we are, especially. And they start to figure out, okay, if I cover over the top, he can't catch us there. They're going to have to try to get in the middle, and then we're going to have to get our linebackers and whatever the hell happens from there.
Well, McDaniel opened up the field yesterday when he started doing those little run options to the corners. He opened up the field for his receivers.
So my thing is that's why I believe, though, they need to – you can't rely just on the pass. Like you go, oh, dude, this offense, watch out for this offense, blah, blah, blah. Yes, when you have Tyreek, Jalen, and Tua, those trios, those triple threat, yeah, you could put up some points, but after a while, they're going to realize, oh, that's what you've got. Barrios stood up, Craig Kraft, those guys are going to eat. Durham Smythe had a big catch, but that's why you need to have that fourth wheel. You need to have that fourth wheel. You need to have that running attack. You need to have and with A-Chain, I don't want to put too much on him. He's a rookie. He's a third-round pick. He's going to be a returner. I think he's going to be a receiver. You got to think of Austin Eckler. I'm thinking of a poor man's Austin Eckler. That's kind of how I see him, especially in his first year or the first couple years. Miami needs, if not committing to run, if they don't trust what they have right now in the room, then they need definitely to revisit that in 4 weeks and say, hey, we need to add this dimension to our offense, because eventually that's my concern. Could this last all season? Because defenses learn to adjust. That's why I remember the Wildcat when the Dolphins did that to the. Remember when remember when the Dolphins?
Those are gimmick plays, No.
When they opened that up, nobody could stop them the first few weeks. Nobody, and everybody's like, "Oh, dude, we got Ricky Williams, we got Ronnie Brown, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. No one could stop us. How they don't know if we're going to pass or we're going to run." Eventually, they said after a few weeks into the first game of the postseason against the Steelers, it was done. They never did it again. And not saying that Tyreek and Jalen passing the ball is a different beast.
Of course. But you can't compare those two, but I understand the concept.
You can compare those two.
You can. You cannot compare those two, Bob, because the wild card was just either Ricky Williams or Ronnie Brown, where there's a direct snap running the ball or a flea flicker. You can't compare when you have Waddle and Hill,
which is a bomb.
The whole field with an open space.
No, you can't compare. Stop. You're thinking of Madden here. All right, you got to.
I'm not thinking about Madden. I'm thinking about logic.
No, you're not thinking of logic, because logic is to go, you know what, you're right. We do need to add this dimension, because we can't just live off of the passing game
at all. I agree with you.
That's why we fell off last year. Not because of injuries. It was because we fell into the playoffs because of injuries. Tua didn't come back. But before Tua got hurt, he was still in the game, and they ended up stopping that. That's why it kind of deflated at the end of the year. You need to add another dimension. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to take something away from it, it's very nice, and you could be in a shootout any day of the week. But eventually, defenses are going to get smart. The Belichicks of the world, the whatevers, the freaking, what's this guy, Sean McDermott's of the world. Those guys are smart, where they go, okay, we're going to have to figure out how to stop this pass, because they're not trusting their running game. If we stop this, they don't have a running game. It's going to be a long day for them. We could control the ball. Because remember, Miami had Tua, Jalen, and Tyreek last year for 8-3, and then whatever, how many other games before Tua? 13 games. And that 13 games, they weren't 13-0.
No, of course
they weren't 13-0 before Tua got hurt. they were starting to fall behind, and they ended up being 9-8 in the season. You have to have that second dimension on your offense. You can't be a one-dimensional football team. You do not go far here. It's not the days of years past where, even Dan Marino was one-dimensional. It was all passing. And people go, oh, how did Dan Marino not win a Super Bowl? It was one dimension.
Yeah.
It was one dimension. You have to have a second thing.
It will mirror kind of like the Chiefs offense.
Now, yes, it'd be 60-40. If you're more passing, then you have a 40% running back.
Depending on the game, depending on the situation, things like that.
That's the thing. Now, depending on the situations change. This was a shootout.
No, I mean, and if you go up, Bob, 3 scores, by de facto, you're going to run the ball more. So those are the things also. You were playing a little catch-up back and forth. So I want to see how week 2 and week 3 play out so we can see the balance there. Yeah, that's true, too. Maybe. Because Mostert is hard to bring down.
Well, Mostert that's my thing. Mostert is gained weight. He when he was running, he never stopped his legs.
Nothing.
I mean, he looked like he was committed to improving the run, and that's why it was kind of like a little like, okay, why did we stop? Because it was still a chance to continue to run, and he was making plays. And credit to the offensive line: Kendall Lamb, Austin Jackson, those guys. Connor Williams. Again, I don't think it was on him; it was on Tua. But overall, the offensive line played well. There's things you got to improve on, but they played well enough to protect the quarterback. No sacks.
Robert Hunt played great. Robert Hunt played amazing, man.
Isaiah Wynn did okay. I mean, he had a penalty, but again, overall, despite how you were feeling before the game, you left that game happy with the Dolphins' offensive line. So even despite not having or not being a running team or being a balanced offense, which again I've been pounding the table for this offseason, being a balanced offense, they still did what they did. To me, it took sooner. It's only game 1, and they were able to do what they did. They didn't wait till Baltimore. They did it in game 1.
Do you think Armstead coming back, Bob, will improve the running game?
I mean, you have I guess logic. You have to say, yeah, right. I mean, yeah. But again, I don't think Armstead being out hurt the running game. I think the running game was fine. I think we stopped running. Yeah. I think Miami just stopped running, and so whether that's different against New England because you might not be able to expect New England to catch you in a shootout. I can't see Miami Tua throwing for how many throwing for 40? I can't see him throwing 45 times against the Patriots. So this might be a tell. Again, Wingate's right. It goes for the offense as well. Let's see 3 to 4 weeks. Let's see how it goes. Maybe it is by situation, and then it's all good. But what I'm saying is that you can only go far with a one-dimension offense. You need to add that little bit of spice. And again, even, you were talking about the Chiefs. The Chiefs, you had Tyreek, you had Sammy Watkins, you had Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes being one of the best ever. You have all that, but they also had Kareem Hunt.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? They also had those other guys. So when you knew, when somebody stopped you, then they would go ahead and run off. What's up, Caden Dolphins 89? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for tuning in.
When you see those Chiefs, even right now, you can go back and look at those Chiefs box scores. There was games that Patrick Mahomes only threw the ball 28 times, and the game was relatively close. Why? Because the running game was on point, and his receivers were off. There was other games that Patrick Mahomes threw the ball 55 times, and you ran the ball 10 or 11 times, and you won by 30. So it's the flow of a game type. But like you said, you need to have the option where you can run the ball 20
and that's it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Look, I'm ready to say right now, even without the running game, and again, I'm not taking anything from anybody. Dallas, had a great game yesterday. I mean, I think still Miami.
And coming from you, this is a lot because you're very reserved when you come to what you're about to say. You're very reserved when you say this. You're very guarded.
I'm not taking anything away from anybody right now. I know it's very early in the season, and the Rams came out, the Niners, even the Patriots had a good whatever. But to me, Miami is the best offensive team, the best offense in football right now. And if you add that running game, whether that be who you have already on the roster, or you go out and you say, okay, no, we're going to make this deal. We saw that the running game was still struggling. The running defense, the rushing defense, we could move a guy. We could sign someone else and see if that maybe adds a flair to our running defense. Maybe we can move somebody from that D-line, whatever, add a couple picks. Let's go get our running back. And now you add your Marshall Faulk to your greatest show on turf with those Isaac Bruce, Terry Hall, Warner. You get your Marshall Faulk. Then you seal the deal. Now you're the number one offensive football. This is the best offense in NFL right now because I can't see who could stop Tyreek and Tua. And then you
no one. And
That's what I'm saying. What's up, Rob? Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com. Check him out.
I was watching the game, and I keep thinking of, obviously, the opening Thursday Night Football was the Chiefs, right? And you saw Patrick Mahomes with his receivers, and I know they won the Super Bowl and all that, but I kept thinking, I'm like, in my right mind, when you have Tyreek Hill, because all of a sudden, we always knew who Tyreek Hill was. We all knew who was explosive receiver, the fastest man in the NFL, Cheetah.
He's scary. Like Shannon Sharpe said, scary.
Somehow, he looks even scarier in Miami. I understand the way McDaniel's using him. But in what mindset?
Chip.
Maybe it could be relationships and the money. But why on God's green earth did Kansas City want to trade Tyreek Hill when you had him in his prime with Travis Kelce, with Patrick Mahomes? That team was guaranteed, Bob, to win Super Bowls for the next 5 years, man. And I'm thinking about, like, how did that happen?
Well, first off, they did win the Super Bowl last year, so credit to them without Tyreek.
Exactly.
Right?
Like
now,
said,
this season of game one, they got upset by the Lions because, I mean, their receivers were trash. But that's probably because they're too smart for themselves, and they said, oh, we could, and they did win without him. We don't have to spend that much money, and we trust our development of our guys. I mean, and I got a good, decent team. I think it's crazy because you do have someone like that, but I guess, they did win, so they made the right decision, or they made okay decision. But the Dolphins were smart enough to grab him, and Miami took advantage of that, and they got maybe the best. I want to say maybe, to me, he is the best wide receiver in football. Justin Jefferson, him and Justin Jefferson are 1A, 1B, and you can go with him either way of the week. But Tyreek Hill is just on another level. I want to credit Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com, Dolphins Thirsty YouTube channel. He's the co-host of Real Talk Fins Talk and Dolphins Chatter on his own page. I was listening to his show this morning, and I agree with him. Again, and Robert, if you're still tuning in or you just tuned in, Wingate had a great point in regards of our defense, because Rob on his post game was more, on the positive side. We won. And of course, us, Alex, we analyze everything, and we were excited we won, but we start going over the flaws. But he brought up a good point about the defense in regards of, Jalen Phillips, high draft pick, Bradley Chubb, a lot of money, Emmanuel Ogbah, a lot of money. Those guys, you expect more from your pass rush and your rushing defense than what you got yesterday. Now, Rob, if you're still watching, first off, Wingate says, let's give it 3 to 4 weeks. Let's see how they gel, and maybe it gets better. Then we could judge it. But Rob's absolutely right. Those guys were great, and they did seal the win. That's the credit. But next week against Mac Jones, I want to see more of a pass rush. I believe in these guys, especially in Jalen Phillips. That dude is a stud. He is. So you want to see him eat. He got half a sack. He should have got the whole damn thing. I don't think.
Well, he had 7 pressures. He was top 4 in pressures.
Oh, dude, he was all over the place. But again, you want to see more. It shouldn't be half a sack. It should be like a sack and a half or 2 sacks. So I expect it to get better. I agree with Rob what he was saying this morning. I'm not all about what do you call this, Alex? When somebody, like, when you have a race and someone wins 4th place, but you still give him a trophy, participation trophy. I'm not about, he's one of our players. He's okay. No. You need to show up. It's real football now. You need to real football. Of course. Absolutely. If we're going to do that to our quarterback every other week, when he does great, we put him on a pedestal. When he does bad, we throw him into the basement. If we're going to do that to the quarterback, we need to do that to every player on this football team. Yeah. You all have a role. All those players have a role on every 53, especially to all the 22. 22 players starting have a role. I don't care if you're the backup or you're the starter. Kendall Lamb, who's the backup swing tackle, came in for a Pro Bowl tackle.
He stepped up, man.
And he stood up. Austin Jackson, who people are ready to call him a bust, me included, but even though he put his work in, he stood up.
And those guys. You're talking about all pro ends on the other end. You're talking about Bosa and Khalil Mack.
Did you see what he did to Bosa on some of these plays? Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Each and every. You gotta earn your spot, and it's not enough to be wearing a jersey and wearing the elephant on your helmet. You need to earn your spot. I'm not about participation trophies. Show up. Now, if they sealed it. Now, if they never got that sack in the end and somehow the time just ran out and whatever, then it'd be harder on the defense. But the fact that Jalen Phillips and Justin Belfort and Kader Kohu finished that game with a sack. You got to give him credit.
What's one thing that still makes me nervous about this football team, Bob? And I said in the beginning of the year, Jason Sanders. If he missed the extra point. If the Chargers were able to get in field goal range and we lose the game on a made field goal because he missed the extra point, I would have personally gone to LA and kicked his ass. Because that is something that this offseason, I don't know why, I'm like, well, my fear is that he's going to cost us a few games by doing shit like that.
So Evan was like that yesterday, and I'm gonna disagree. Yeah, he missed the extra. No, he put 9 points on the board last night. He put 9 points. Yeah, you take off 9 of those extra points, 41 yards, whatever, because the offense couldn't keep going because they got stuff because they said to keep passing instead of running. If you would have took out those 9 points, the offense would have lost 34-27.
Okay.
You took out 9 points because they couldn't score.
But that's during the course of the game. You're talking about
doesn't matter. That's 9 points. He made the kicks to do it. At the end, yeah. To me, it looked like he was overconfident because you see him and Justin or Bailey, the punter, celebrate before the kick even goes in and it hits the upright and it falls out. To me, it looked overconfident. I'm not worried about him. Again, he scored 9 points. You wouldn't be worried about the offense that didn't move up the field to get those 9 points. I think we're reaching at that point. Pro Bowl kicker. He scored 9 points, especially further away. If you would have missed those kicks further away, then I could understand, or missed kicks at all, you go, oh, dude, we could have had 9 points on the board. We all would have said that. It was those kicks, man. We missed 9 points.
I'll take the Josh approach. I'm going to give him 3 or 4 weeks and then analyze once again.
Nah, bullshit. I think people are being a little too hard on him. I think people are being a little too hard, dude. He did his job. He did his job, and the Dolphins still won.
But that's
my thing too. If he missed that kick and then the Chargers would have came all the way up and scored a field goal and won the game, I would have been pissed. Why wouldn't you be pissed at the defense who couldn't stop Justin Herbert? I would have been pissed at the defense. All this offseason, all this hype, Vic Fangio, and all these guys are going to show up. Watch, look what they're going to do. Look what they're going to do. And then look what they did. They let it go at the end and they won. That's what I've been pissed about. Not this guy missing an extra point.
You know what's crazy, Bob? Even with the defense struggles, I still think by the end of the year we're a top 10 defense overall.
Nah, I don't think so.
Our prediction, and I know you saw New England's game.
I said top 10, but
remember my prediction. New England's going to finish second in our division. It's going to be Dolphins, New England, Buffalo, and the Jets. Did you see the way New England played with the Eagles until the very end?
Well, remember, people forget what their coach is, who their coach is, and that's
what
I'm saying about that running game. But again, I'm not worried about him yet. I'm not worried about their kicker. I know a lot. I know Evan did it. Rob texted Steve and said Sanders sucks, and I think people are reaching because how can you be mad at the guy who made 9 points, but then you're not going to be mad at the defense if the defense allowed them to come back? The defense couldn't stop the offense, so I'm happy he put those 9 points aboard because if we didn't have them, we would lose the game. So I'm not ready to crap on Jason Sanders. He did his job. Good for him. What else? What else I want to touch on with this Dolphins team? Touching on the Patriots. You said it. 25-20. They lost against the Eagles, but I mean, this guy. What's his face?
And Bob, they're just coming out now. They're not confirmed yet, but there's fear that Aaron Rodgers is dealing with an Achilles injury. So it could be an Achilles tear. So they got to do an MRI tomorrow to confirm it. So by the look of it, if you see any snap, man, if that's an Achilles injury at that age, that is very difficult to come back. And with limited mobility, I mean, the Jets went for it. It sucks that it and like I said, we're all competitors. This is the aspect. Obviously, we're Dolphin fans, obviously, and we want to dominate. We want the Jets to lose, but you don't want as a competitor, you don't want that. You don't wish that on anybody. It just sucks that you go for it and you're all in on this. And to me, like I was texting my friends, I'm like, dude, if this is a season-ending injury, I know you got Wilson, so they got a decent defense. They're going to try to win some games, but I called Caleb. I'm like, hey, Caleb, I know you're on an interest basis only, but would you be interested in being a New York Jet? Because I'll tank for you, man. I'll just tank the season for Caleb Williams. So it sucks, but hey, the only thing that could have happened to the Jets that would have derailed their season, what do we talk about? Rodgers getting hurt. Literally, on the first play, due to bad O-line play, he gets hurt, and they twist his ankle. And obviously, it all goes to hell. But, man, that's why, Bob, even NBA, NFL, to me it is insane. Sometimes you hold people out in preseason games. I've always understood that, but I've never been in favor of it because but it's minimizing risk. Yeah, you hold him out all preseason, he doesn't play, etc. First play of any game during any part of the regular season, you can snap your leg, you can break your ankle, you can do anything. So it's your luck of the draw. Sometimes obviously it could be because someone blew an assignment. It could be bad O-line play. How I relate it to basketball, it could be the wrong turn. You just landed wrong. It's luck is part of sports, and unfortunately, that is just that, man. Sometimes you plant your foot and you want to let go, but the weight falls on you, and that's it. You're done. So it's just
it's a bad luck of the draw because it's that saying, in order to beat the man, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, and not that they're the man at all, but you want to beat them fair and square with their guy.
Exactly.
I'd rather them struggle with Aaron than not have Aaron and then say, oh, we never had our guy. So it sucks, and hopefully it's not too severe, but we'll see what happens there. So I think I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm not ready to say best team in football, but I'm ready to say best offense in football. Definitely right now, the Miami Dolphins. Are you in agreement? All right.
I don't think there's any team right now that can beat us in a shootout. I'll put it that way.
There you go. So, again, and I just want to say, obviously, how can you not? Tua, stellar game.
Yeah. And
right
Bob,
there.
I know it's really early, but if Tua continues to perform at this level.
I was just going to say it.
Okay, go.
No, go finish.
No. You start. No, I'll let you finish.
I was just gonna. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. I don't know what you're about to say, but I'm gonna say the way Tua played yesterday, it's hard not to say he's gonna be in that MVP conversation by the end of the season. He's right there.
Oh, that for sure.
That's where I was going. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going slightly another direction. I'm like, he's gonna get pretty expensive.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. If yes, he can. But right now we got him at a bargain. We got a $20 million next season. Miami could say, no, let's figure that out and get that done now, or at the end of the season. But Evan brought up, I think it was Evan who said it.
I think he'll work with us.
Well, this is my thing. I don't want to put that. I'm not going to put that on him because then people get mad if he didn't work with us and he got all his money. But I will say Evan brought up a good point, and I don't know, how that works. They might give him more. They may give him a lot of money, but he said it's the guaranteed that might be
the guaranteed money. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to put too much guarantee, and then he's injured or he decides to, whatever. Okay, so but that's neither here nor there. I say let's enjoy the season before we start talking contract extension. But no, I don't think it's gonna be an 8-3 situation where they're 8-3 and then all of a sudden he plays himself out of the MVP conversation. I think, especially if Miami continues to adjust and develop throughout the season, especially if they add in that running game,
absolutely,
and they protect him,
sustainable. It's sustainable.
He could be right there. I picked Jalen Hurts to win MVP this season.
Yeah.
And I'm not changing that right now. I'm not. Jalen Hurts is a damn good quarterback, and the Eagles are a damn good football team. But Tua is going to be right there. He's going to make a case. Mm-hmm. If he plays as he did, and it wasn't like a run, it wasn't a comeback. It was a shootout yesterday. Yep. This was in Baltimore, and Baltimore took their foot off the gas.
No. It was back and forth.
This was back and forth, and he was making clutch throws. He plays like this, and then Miami protects him in regards of adding that running string attack, not allowing him to make mistakes, protecting him from injuries. There's no reason why he shouldn't be MVP. There's no reason. Now, the only one who could probably contend if he continues to play like this is Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek gets 2,000 plus yards,
they could be co-MVPs.
Co-MVPs. Dude, that would be epic. It could happen. Hey, that's all I'm saying. So we'll continue on this. I want to thank while everybody's watching East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. You got Alex Atiachiska, and you got Bobby Finns talking Dolphins, but we're going to touch on some other things here as we roll on. I want to touch a little bit on Miami Heat. Of course, Alex will be on tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern. 9:30 Eastern. Fast break. He's going to have, I'll let you talk about who you're going to have on the show tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we're going to have our guest, Brady Hawk, which is always kind enough from 5 Reasons Sports, someone that we love talking basketball with. No one breaks it down like Brady. So he's going to be on with us tomorrow. I believe Justin's going to be on. He's in Pittsburgh. So I want to ask him if he went to PNC Park, which is my favorite baseball stadium in the whole MLB. I've never been, but just on pictures alone, I do want to visit it. And I don't know if Clutch is going to be able to be on or Neil. I got to see where Neil is. I don't know if Neil. I believe Neil is back from vacation, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll have a nice little panel.
Well, let me just say very quick, and Justin Garfield,
Yes.
Finstock Sports Network, one of the co-hosts of Fast Break, but host of our newest show, college football podcast, Touchdowns
Amazing
in Paradise.
Amazing
A lot
show.
of fun, great group of guys. They recorded on Wednesday night, and then they go on live, and then we drop the episode on Thursday morning. They got great stuff on there. Justin's an awesome dude. You got Russ, you got Pete, you got Joe, all good dudes. If you guys love college football and you want to listen to something good in the mornings, tune in Thursday mornings on the Finstock Sports Network YouTube channel for Touchdown in Paradise.
And Bob, now you mentioned college football. Did you get to see the UM game?
No, I didn't get to see the this week. I did not get to see it. I followed up on it, but I didn't get to see that. I was just at Fenway. Oh, that's awesome, man. He went to the. There you go.
Ooh, Fenway. That's another ballpark that it to me, because one of my friends now is in Denver, so obviously went to Coors Field. One of my goals has always been to go with my son and around the whole United States and visit, for example, different NBA arenas. Visit different ballparks, different stadiums. So I'm hoping one day I can achieve it little by little. I've been to a few.
Well, that's why, I do want to, I've been thinking about the Carolina game, like going to Miami, going to Carolina game, but, finances and stuff like that, just the way it is. Yeah. And I do want to go to a home game. I want to take Tristan, but I've been really intrigued about going to an away game. And I'm looking at all the away games, and the one game that I'm really interested that I would really like to go is the Washington game. I've never been to Washington D.C. I would love to go there.
Man, for sure.
Yeah, I would love to do that. It is to go there, but we'll see what happens.
That's
Fenway Park is small.
Huh?
Fenway Park is small.
Yeah, Fenway Park super small, like Wrigley Field.
Really?
Too. Yeah, remember, Bob? Those are parks. Fenway Park was built in 1908. Wrigley Field in 1912. So Fenway Park is between like two streets. That's why you have the Green Monster, because there was really nothing beyond that. There was a street there. So, but it's still like, to me, basketball wise, it will be like walking into Madison Square Garden, because you're walking into history. Well, it will be like walking into the old Boston Garden. You're walking into history. So I'm grabbing pins from each stadium. And I'm telling you, man, that is so cool, because those are things that you take forever. That is amazing, man. And there's so many beautiful stadiums, Bob. Even Little League ballparks. There's some amazing Little League. I'm not minor league. Sorry, not Little Leagues. Minor league ballparks. It's something really cool.
I want to touch on this very quick because I won't be on there tomorrow. I got stuff going on tomorrow night, but so I'm out of commission because I would love to talk with you and Brady, especially about Miami Heat. It looks like Shams reported that the Heat and the Trailblazers probably start reconnecting in a couple weeks. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. Another report came out. I think I have it here. Let me see. I want to make sure I credit the right person. But Mark Stein said that multiple teams I've spoken to recently expect free agent swingman Kelly Oubre to ultimately land with the Miami Heat, provided that the Heat ultimately successful in their quest to trade for Dame Lillard. Yes. That would be huge. And I don't want you, Alex, to take too much away, because I know you're going to talk on it tomorrow, but
don't worry about
just your thoughts on Kelly Oubre being an added piece if they make a trade. We don't know. I know Jaime made a commercial with Jimmy Butler. I know Jovic was with Spo. Good for credit to Serbia for getting to the final. I mean, they lost. And you could see the love, the passion he had. He really wanted to do that for his country. He was crying on there. So I felt for him. I'm very proud of him. I'm excited to see his development, whether on the Heat or anywhere else. I want to be on the Heat, but anywhere else, I'm just excited to see his development. And then, but we don't know how that trade's going to go down, but neither here nor there. If it he doesn't like what I said. Oh, okay, he's back. If Miami makes this deal, whatever deal works out, we won't have to go into the details of that because we talked about it before. We talking about a Magic takeover for the NBA championship. Hey, you know what? Let me just say this about the Magic.
Hey,
they're coming. They're coming, dude.
They're making the playoffs this year, bro. They're making the playoffs. I love
what they're doing in Orlando. When I moved to Orlando, Alex, I followed them more, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I had to watch them. So I like that. I like the Magic a lot. And but Paolo, Isaac, those guys, Markel Fultz, right? He's unless he got traded, so I don't think he did.
The Wagner brother, absolutely.
Wagner, Franz Wagner. Hey, all credit to Josh, man. I love what they're doing over there. But we're talking Miami Heat right now. But the Heat, what would you think too? And I don't want you to go too much into it because I know you got your show tomorrow. But if the Heat were to make this deal, however it would go down, we don't have to go into details about going down. But if they were able to land, obviously Dame Lillard and then bring in Kelly Oubre, what would you think that would do for the team?
Oh, well, the fact that it's a foregone conclusion that you have Kelly Oubre, which the reason he hasn't signed, I believe, is because he's just waiting for it to play out. I also felt that way about Christian Wood. Now, when Christian Wood signed with the Lakers, it kind of confirmed something for me personally, basketball fit wise. I do believe that it's either one of two things: either for sure Jovic isn't getting traded, because Christian Wood really would only come if that stretch 4 spot is available, if he's going to have minutes available. So by the fact that happened, Christian Wood signing with the Lakers, I'm like, okay, Jovic isn't getting traded, or Nurkic is part of the move coming back with Dame from Portland. Those are the two scenarios that I'm looking at. That was just me analyzing it. Now, and I'm going to indulge because obviously, who better than to talk to with you about it, because we've talked about it all summer. I do believe there is a scenario. I do believe the most logical scenario is that Hero won't be moved if Portland doesn't want him. I still can't get, and that's one of the reasons I want to ask Brady his take. I still can't get over the fact why Cronin is taking so long, because there's really no other prospective teams. A lot of people talk, other prospective teams are going to be in. Dame Lillard basically doubled down again, where he's either going to show up to Portland Trailblazers training camp, and you don't want that because it's a shit show, or he's going to show up to the Heat training camp. If he's traded anywhere else, he will be requesting a trade the moment that trade becomes official. So there's no team in the right mind that will trade anything for Dame Lillard, because any team that has the assets to trade for Dame Lillard is not contending, is not in position to contend for any years down the line, or he doesn't want to go there. Plain and simple. The only other possibility that I saw was either the Lakers or Boston. That's a no-go. So Dame Lillard is 33 years old. He has over $200 million left in his contract. He's not going to demand the return package that people think he's going to gain the Blazers. At this point, I still don't know why the Blazers don't want Hero, or maybe they do want him and they're downplaying it, which I doubt. But I realistically think, Bob, the fact that Oubre is still available, I do believe that Robinson might be moved as well. Maybe a Highsmith, maybe a Martin is moved. Remember, we signed Richardson. So I do think a package will be centered around Lowry, Robinson, Jaime. I do believe Jaime will be the one moved. He usually have a tell. The way they keep posting about their players in the offseason, if you've noticed, they've posted continuously about Nikola. And it's not only to build up his value was built up. You saw him play in the
his value's up. The NFL the NBA, his eyes are on Nikola right now.
He's developed, and Nikola could run your point. Nikola could be a point guard for you. You can run offense through him. So I think at the end of the day, when it's all settled, I do believe Nikola stays. I do believe it will be a package around Robinson, Lowry, Jaime,
Martin.
And you're probably moving either Martin or Highsmith. Maybe Portland doesn't want Hero because they want to completely build around Scoot, around Sharp, and not Hero, because Hero's gonna ball out, man. Even with Dame here. So there's a lot of things and obviously you're trading 3 first-round picks or pick swaps. They can have all of them. I don't care. That's what you can give.
Let me. Josh asked, "Have you all watched the Lakers Magic?"
Yes.
Johnson's
winning time.
Yes, winning time. I started it. When did I stop? And it's not because I didn't like the show. I love the show. I thought it was great. It's season 1. I haven't got into season 2.
Oh man,
it was after.
Oh, you didn't finish season 1, Bob?
I have not finished season 1 yet. No, man, and Tati and I keep talking about it because we've been wanting to finish it.
Finish it before you start season 2. It's amazing.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to watch right now. You know what? That's actually a question I was going to talk about today. The New Jersey Nets want Tyler Hero and a trade. But
Miami's not going to trade him just to trade him. That's one thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. They're not just going to include him. So
no.
Yeah.
And listen, to me, if Miami could either come out of this keeping Hero or come out of this keeping Jaime and Jovic,
Yeah.
one or the other.
Well,
I'm talking
that's
about
one of the scenarios, Bob.
if you're talking about keeping the both of them, or you lose Hero, or you keep Hero
Yeah.
and you lose one of them. If they could do that, it's a win. To me,
You're
if you
losing
keep
one
Jaime,
out of those three for sure.
yeah. I would. I don't like losing Hero. I don't want to sound like I'm discredited or anything like that. I think Hero is such an important piece, especially if you add a Lillard. But I would rather keep Jaime and Jovic,
Yeah.
and then lose Hero because of cap situation. But also, I think, dude, I'm going to tell you right now. Of course,
Kelly could step into that Tyler role scoring wise.
Absolutely.
So,
and again, I think people are going to be surprised how when Jaime steps on that floor, when he first gets out, people are going to be surprised the impact he's going to make on this team. God willing, he does. I mean, but we'll see. I do think Jovic probably has the Portland Trailblazers thinking differently now, where they're like, "Oh, dude, wait a second."
I don't understand why people talk so much about our assets.
Yeah,
like, oh, the Heat don't have all these assets. I'm like,
well, they do.
Sit down and look at it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like what they saw in Serbia, I guarantee you, I would hard. Let me ask you this: let's pretend you are Cronin, which I know you probably be better at this than Cronin. But if let's say you're Cronin, okay,
this shit would have been done already, bro.
Yeah, let's say no. Honestly, like let's pretend, okay. And I want you to take your Heat hat off. I want you to take the, and I'm saying, you're looking at the trade. Who are you asking for in that trade? If you have Damian Lillard and you're looking at your roster and you're saying, okay, Miami, let's make this deal. Who are you looking at on that roster? And you're going now. Look, you could be realistic, or you could be. I don't want to say realistic because I don't want to. Like, you're not going to be. What I mean is, you can say, "Hey, man, no, dude. If I'm if I'm the Blazers, I'm asking for Bam in this trade. I'm asking What I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is, if you're, that's what I'm saying. I want you to be. If you're on the other end of it, you're trying to build a winning team. Don't try to protect Miami. You're not Miami right now. That's what I'm trying. If you try to get where I'm coming from, don't protect Miami. You're trying to protect yourself in your job as the Blazers general manager. You got Scoot Henderson. You got a decent young squad. When you're looking at the Heat and you're going, okay, if I'm making this trade, Bobby, I'm asking for these guys. Now, if you're on the Heat side, you could say no. Yeah. But if you're the Blazers, who are you asking for? Well, that's a kind of an interesting experiment. But
if I'm the Blazers, first of all, I'm speaking to ownership. I'm going to tell them exactly what I want to do. I'm not going to leak this to any media. I'm not going to let this drag out. The moment Dame comes to me and requests a trade privately, I'm keeping it privately. I'm asking him to please keep it privately, that I want to deal. What is the destination you want to go to? You've been a franchise player for me. I understand. I offered you an extension. I sold you a vision, and we're not there, and we're not going there. So where do you want to go? Okay, Miami. All right, let me work on it. I look at Miami's roster automatically, point blank. I'm asking for Jovic, and I'm probably asking for Hero as well as part of my package deal. Obviously, if you want me to take on Lowry's contract, even though it's expiring, you're helping me because you're taking Dame's contract out of my books. I need to suck this year, because I have a lottery pick that if it's too low, like, I have to give it to Chicago. So I want to lose games this year. I want to develop Scoot. I want to develop Sharp. I want to develop Simmons, or if not, flip Simmons come trade deadline to a contender. So I'm going to ask you for Nikola, Jaime, and Hero. That will be my first thing. I'll go flat out ask you for that. And maybe like 2 first-round picks. Now that's when you get into the negotiation part, where I will settle for sure with Nikola, a few first-round picks, and maybe try to get Hero. Now, if I got to get Lowry, I'm going to ask you for Lowry and probably one of your developmental players, because I like Orlando Robinson. I want Orlando Robinson. I'll start looking those things around. And obviously, that's when you start negotiating and all that. So I might just end up asking for Nikola, Jaime, and a bunch of picks, and I'll take on Kyle Lowry's contract. I'll take on Robinson's contract.
To make it work. To make it work,
I'll do that. And because at the end of the day, I understand leverage. I don't have any leverage. I can say that you have right now an illusion of leverage. This is, to me, the only logical reason that Cronin would drag this out. Because he's going to trade Dame to the Heat no matter what. That's his only option. Dame doesn't want to be there. You need to lose games. It just, to me, it's the psychological aspect of, like, I can't show that I got done in my job. I can't show that I was maneuvered. I was manhandled. Because that's what happened. And Dame Lillard, I got granted to you, he's done it very professionally. He hasn't gone out. He hasn't formed the show. And the fact that it's not like a Harden situation, you take it so much seriously, because Dame says, I want to go to Miami, and that's it. He hasn't wavered. He hasn't opened up his options. He hasn't gone public. He's done interviews, and even in the interviews, he's never mentioned the Trailblazers. He's never talked about the Trailblazers. He never talked about anything. I'm pretty sure after the trade is done, eventually things will come out. But he's handled it very professionally, and he hasn't gone the nuclear option. But today was kind of like that semi-nuclear where he probably won't report to any training camp. So that's as close as you're gonna get to
So
Dame doing the nuclear.
I appreciate you being honest, and because you said it right there. You said if you were the Trailblazers, you're definitely asking for. Well, you said both of them, but you said Jovic was the first name you mentioned, and that's my thing. If I'm the Blazers, I would do the same thing. Yeah. And yeah, of course. I mean, you look at Jaime, but to me, I think Jaime fits more with the Heat, what they're doing, than the Blazers. But when I'm looking at Jovic, I could see Jovic becoming huge in Portland with Scoot. I could see that with Sharp and those guys. I could see it. So if I'm Cronin, I'm going, all right, I'm obviously not going to get the value that I think I'm going to get here. But if I could come out of here looking pretty damn good and pretty smart, maybe even for my next job.
Exactly.
If they don't do good right now and he fire his ass and his next job, and then let's say after he's fired and he's an assistant GM or head of scouting or wherever else or on TV, but then they look at the Blazers and Scoot Henderson and Sharp and Jovic and whatever the group that he has there that got him fired because he couldn't get him equal value, but then they're lighting it up in the West.
Bro,
somebody's going to call him and go, hey, man, listen, we want you to run this. So to me, it's like that. I'm with you. If I'm the Trailblazers, Jovic is the asset that I'm going to request back. That's the asset. So, but I'm with you too. They don't have leverage. They have that pretend leverage. The only leverage they have is that if they want to look bad around the league is if they say, okay, we're not going to make a trade. We're just going to hold Dame Lillard, let him be pissed off and whatever. Okay, there's your leverage.
And that's bad optics because you're going to ruin relationships in the future.
For sure. No, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so we're into the hour. Let's get into our random questions for fun here. Alex, again, questions? You get more Miami Heat talk tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern. We got a full house tomorrow, a triple header. We have Real Talk, Fins Talk for Miami Dolphins content. Steve Malloy and Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com host Real Talk, Fins Talk. They'll obviously be talking about the Miami Dolphins' victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. They're going to talk about the upcoming matchup against the Patriots, I'm sure, at 8:30 or 8:15. If you're into professional soccer, tune in to That's Offsides. I believe they're going to be having a live stream reaction show to Colombia versus Chile.
Yeah.
Right.
Up to now, that's the plan. Unless they can't make it.
I know.
Updated tomorrow.
We'll keep you updated because I know I saw the message and I told them though I won't be available tomorrow night unless But maybe they watch halfway and as they're reacting to the game, they just do it and then they end it. Because Alex has, again, a great show, Fast Break. I'm very excited to see that episode tomorrow. I'm excited about it. It's starting to get back into the thrill of the season.
Yes.
So we got Brady Hawk of 5 Reasons Sports on. So if you're into Miami Heat content, tune in tomorrow. If you haven't liked it, subscribe yet to the channel. Hit that notifications bell. Do so. I will say, again, if you're enjoying the content and you like the channel, Fins Talk Sports, that we are growing. We're at 970 subscribers, Alex.
Wow,
we're growing.
30 away, baby.
Woo! We're 30 away from 1,000, and I can't be thankful enough to you, to Josh Wingate, Josh Kimmel, Justin, and Dave on the Fantasy Football Show, Rob, Steve, Evan, Hank, everybody, and forgive me, the No Holds Barred crew. The Offsides crew, and especially the viewers. I thank everybody for tuning in and being on this journey with us. We're so excited as we continue to grow. And we do have now, since we are growing, the Super Chats option now. So if you do like our content and if you want to help the channel grow, and you feel like, hey, you want to give a little something, whatever that may be, you hit that Super Chat option. I think it goes from $1.99 to whatever. Anything I'm grateful for, because it will go towards the channel as we continue to grow, and hopefully this becomes bigger than YouTube one day, and we're doing something else, because I have so much stuff I'm working on, and I'm so excited about the growth of this as we continue. So again, catch Alex tomorrow at 9:30 or 9:30 Eastern for Fast Break. He'll have Brady Hawk on talking Miami Heat basketball, NBA. And as we continue to move on, we'll go into funny questions. Funny questions. Let me go ahead and check the Jets game very quick. Again, you're watching East 10th Street Boys straight out of Hialeah on the Fitz Talk Sports Network. Right now, it's a low-scoring game. Again, the Dolphins game was the best game, but the Buffalo Bills are leading 13-6, Alex, against the Jets.
Bob, does anybody scare you in our division, bro? Does anybody
No.
really scare you in our division?
No. I listen. I'm going to be honest. I picked the Buffalo Bills because you can't really, Buffalo Bills for me 3 years in a row. They're the AFC champions, AFC East champions. They still have the roster. It's Stephon Diggs. Looks like he's doing well. I'm rolling with it. But honest to God, hand to Bible. No, I'm not scared of anybody in our division. You still got to respect the Chiefs. I'm talking about AFC. You still respect the Chiefs, the Ravens, those guys for sure. But Miami, I think, is right on that echelon. And again, I have the Chiefs. I have the Buffalo Bills winning the division right now, and in our predictions. But I have the Dolphins going further in the playoffs, if that means anything. Anyway, let's get into it. So first
Funny
off,
questions, man. My favorite part.
funny questions and best questions. Actually,
How are we doing? How many are we doing today?
I'm going to say 5. We'll stick to 5, okay?
Perfect.
Depending on how we go. And again, guys, if you don't know what this is, we're going to go with random questions. And I love the Serial Awards thing. I'm going to work on that. Alex might have to remind me. We'll come up with some names, and then maybe Wingate could join us for that segment. Because I think that'd be cool. Because he watches the Dolphins. His wife's a Dolphins fan. He is a Cowboys fan. But I think we'll get an unbiased opinion would be fun. Because if we go all this
we should have a network conference call, like a live podcast, so we can just discuss our favorite series in the network.
There you go, right? Have everybody on the show, on the channel. So
eating cereal at the same time.
I'm gonna go with 3 funny questions, and I'm gonna go with 2. It says juicy questions.
Okay,
Interesting.
I like those.
So
fire away.
Well, the first one I want to ask, and I'm where I stand on this. Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
No, hell no.
Do you know anybody who does that?
Yes,
Who?
my wife and my mom.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they love Hawaiian pizza.
Oh God.
I don't like hot pineapple.
See, my thing is this. I'm not really against hot pineapple. It's just that some things don't go together. Like it's criminal. Like that's my thing, Alex. I'm a picky.
I know you're picky.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
When you go to store, you go to a store and you see candy that's shaped like burgers. These little things. I can't eat that. They're gummies, but they look like I will not eat it.
You can't eat the.
No. When you look online, I'm very impressed by when the people make the cakes that make it look like real stuff. Like they got the burger and
you won't eat that, bro.
I will not eat. No, hell no. It bothers the hell out of me. But it doesn't belong together. It shouldn't look like that. No. And so the same thing, like pineapple on pizza, it doesn't mix. It does not mix. Why cheese should not be next to pineapple? Hell no.
I'm a big no on pineapple on pizza.
That's why I like California pizza. You eat there before? Seems like a place you've eaten before. Have you ever been to California?
I've eaten their frozen pizzas, but here we don't have a California pizza.
Oh, okay. Tati really wants to go to California pizza. They're good.
Bougie. They're good pizzas. I like the margarita ones. I like that.
Oh, really? Oh, good to know, Harrison. Thanks for letting me know. I'll get on Ralph for that. Watching the Big O show.
Watch Big O instead
of Wow.
Damn, man.
I tried to get Harrison on the show, but he wouldn't come on. He didn't want to. I tried to get Harrison on East 10th Street Boys.
He's one of the originals, man.
He is. But he didn't want to hop on here. Anthony, we got a short show. Well, not short, but we got some stuff we're trying to keep in, brother. Maybe next week we'll get you on, brother. I appreciate you all. You know that, Anthony. Appreciate you always tuning in, man. There's just things that don't mix. And California pizza I'll never eat. I just can't stand it. Pizza needs to be like this flat thing pizza with the salad and shit. And no. Give me a juicy pizza.
I'm a big fan of flatbread pizza, but the right combination. You can't just put anything on it. Now, I love, believe it or not, my flatbread pizzas. I'll put onions. I'll put a steak. Bob, have you ever had this one? Have you ever had the steak pizza from like Pizza Hut or Domino's where you put Alfredo sauce instead of tomato sauce?
No.
Ooh.
No, it has to
it's like
have
a Philly
again, I'm traditional, right? So
it's just
like I could have the little meat. I forgot what those are called. They're not obviously pepperoni, but I'm talking about the little brown meats that go in. I'm trying to remember what that
Bacon?
is. And No. It's like a sausage or something. Beef sausage.
Oh,
I can
okay.
eat that. That's different. You know, that goes with cheese. I'm saying things that go with it. Go,
Yeah.
you know, that's okay. But oh, let's change the sauce. Oh, let's change the bread. Oh, let's put freaking,
You see,
you know, chocolate on pizza.
that one
Don't do it.
I'm torn with this, Harrison. I prefer on the field.
Harrison said that. I mean,
On the
Nick said
field-
that during post game last night.
On the
Nick
field,
Voss.
I like it because you're talking with the players or not. On the booth, I like it because you're seeing the whole field.
That's well, that's what Fangio said. Fangio says he prefers to be out in the booth because he gets to see the whole field. My thing, I'm cool with it because at the same time as you get to see the whole field as a coordinator compared to a coach. The coach needs to be on the field because the coach needs to be in the trenches with his guys. Not sitting on the bench with the quarterback, not sitting on the bench with the linebacker. He needs to be on the field. Let the coordinators sit on top because they get to see everything. Hey, this guy was out on assignment. Hey, you missed that whole video because instead of on the side and going, what the hell happened? And they got to look at the screen and try to figure it out or wait for someone to tell him in his ear.
You would think by now, even I would ask if I'm a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator, I would ask, obviously, I want to be on the field. I do want to have a setup where I can see the overview. Like if I have a camera view from the team that I can see the field from up top, but where I'm in my bench, where I'm sitting down. So I get the feel, I can look at it and I could also be in person. I'm pretty sure you could do that setup. You know, it's not difficult. There are iPads everywhere. So just do a little office semi setup there. And also the thing about the booth being cool is like you're nice and cold. So, you know, you have a nice AC going. You know, it's cool. It's cool.
And Anthony, the one issue I had this weekend, even though we won, is that Tua was overconfident in his elite receivers in Tyreek and Jalen, and he was throwing into triple and double coverage multiple times. So we touched on that at the top of the show, and that was at the start of the game. And my thing was, again, those were some of the times where I was cringing at the beginning because they were almost mistakes. You had almost whatever, but that to me shows trust in his arm. It doesn't show like bad decision making. He does have trust. He is confident in Tua, Tyreek, Jalen. Even look at Braxton Barrios, that big ass catch where he fell down and went right into the. So I get where you're coming from, Anthony. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you though, he looked like he got a lot more comfortable and he started making way better decisions in those tight coverages throughout the game. Our second question. Let me make sure. See here. Where was that one that I saw?
They're saying, Bobby, that Tom Brady, if Aaron Rodgers is gone for the season with a torn Achilles, that Tom Brady's going to come back and be the quarterback for the Jets.
Where was it that I saw that? I don't want to say this wrong. I'll find it. Let's see here.
That's crazy, man.
As we go here.
I think it's an Achilles injury, bro. That sucks. That sucks for Rodgers, man.
Who would win in a fight between Superman and Batman? That's already answered. Batman. Batman won already. Watch the movie.
End of discussion.
Did we ever? I don't know if we ever asked that, but that's interesting. If you could invite 3 people to dinner, living or dead, who would you invite?
Holy shit. Anybody?
Yeah.
If I can invite 3 people to dinner. Holy hell. Okay. Can I do a combination or no?
What do you mean? Like 2 different ones?
Well, no. I would like to invite my grandfathers because I never got to meet them. So I would love to invite them over. I mean, my grandfather met me, one of my grandfathers, but he passed away when I was 9 months old. So obviously, I don't have any recollection whatsoever. So I would like to have a grandparents' dinner. So I'll put that as one. I'll call like that. Grandparents' dinner. Okay. I'm a big family buff, and I love to hear storytelling. And number two, due to the storytelling and just my nature, my interest in basketball is Pat Riley. I would love to have dinner with Pat Riley and just sit there and listen. Just listen to him talk about basketball, about the years in basketball, because to me it's like an encyclopedia, like so many decades of basketball that you can just sit down and listen to stories. So Pat Riley will be number 2. And number 3, damn. Can I invite my future self?
It's you in
It's like, what happened, man?
you. What did you do,
What
bro?
happened, bro? No. I would invite. Damn, that's a tough one because
Yeah.
I have a few historical figures that I would love to talk to. Harrison is like, man, they said invite to dinner, not for anything else. It's like,
Why is our living in the real? Yeah. No.
Vita Guerra.
Anthony says his three are Abraham Lincoln, Oscar De La Hoya,
De La Hoya,
and- and Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
Interesting. That would be a very interesting
That's
dinner.
nice. That is nice.
Harrison, and you answer 3 people that you would invite to dinner if you could, living or dead.
Damn. Let me think about my third one. Who would I invite to dinner? And that's another thing because dinner is kind of like you can have the wrong people over at dinner and they just fuck up your whole night. So those are the things that I've always wondered because you want to have dinner with somebody that's pretty cool, that's gonna be chill. Like you don't want to have dinner with just like random people. You know, it's funny. Like we think about all these people. What happens? You invite them over and then you don't get along with them, or like.
Well, that's my thing. Like I guess Harrison's trying to say like, who are you invite? Oh, I'm gonna invite Jessica Alba and this person and this person. Like these guys. But like honestly, then you got to entertain them and then you got to put the work. Look, I'm married. I don't have to put in that work anymore.
Yeah,
that's why I never understand. You know, and I'm not gonna.
What are we having for dinner?
I'm not gonna crap on anybody. You know, and forgive me, but you know, I never understand like cheaters and so like, I don't get it. It's like. You know, when you're married, you already have to put up with enough. Why put up with another late woman? Yeah. I just don't get. I don't. You know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll be nice to. But you know, I'm not going to do all that.
80-20. One of my friends told me 80-20 is the 20% worth giving up the 80% that you have. Man, it's not. Plain and simple.
It's not.
Like
I'm done.
Write it through. So you know. But
that's it. Wait. Well, no. I'm going to hold that. Wait. Just. I'm going to think. Hopefully, I don't forget. I'm horrible at. I don't have my pen. I usually write something down when because I forget things.
You know what? I would like to invite the first human ever.
Like, do you like it? You know, it's a caveman. Like, okay, Adam, take it easy. Adam and Eve. Dang.
Adam, does Adam come with Eve, or does he say like, is he gonna show up naked to my house?
He probably leave her behind. You know, like I've been dealing with this chick for millions of years. I have nothing to do with.
He sees an apple. He starts freaking out. He's like, no.
Yeah, you know, Hunter, what's up, brother? Thank you for tuning in, my man. Anthony, you know, Anthony, I'm going to tell you right now, man. Wyatt Earp is interesting. You talk about historical figures. Wyatt Earp would be fun to sit down and talk because I love history and I would love to say the same thing with Abraham Lincoln. I would love to sit down and just listen and them tell me about those days and everything else. It's a tough question. It really is. And,
what would you bring?
You know, I love what you said about your grandfathers.
Yeah.
And you know, I was lucky enough to have all my grandparents. I got 2 extra grandparents in my life, which I was blessed with, whom I love dearly. So I didn't get to meet my grandfather Basilio. He met me, which so that's something I would say, okay, I would put him there, but I would love to have, I'm with you on grandparents because my first 2 would be Daisy and Raphael.
Yeah.
Daisy and Raphael, for sure. Grandpa Basilio, Grandpa Melendez, whom I never met, out just to get to know, to be able to meet him and learn about my family from Miami. Mm-hmm. But, you gotta forgive me here. But Daisy and Raphael for sure. Yeah. Just to talk and introduce my kids and to have that moment.
Dave Chappelle would be amazing to have over for dinner.
Oh gosh. My first relative land in America.
That is really cool. That
is cool. I like that. I asked my friend the question that you asked, Bobby, and he said that his 3 choices are Joaquin, Marietta, Pancho Villa. Oh, there you go. Roberto Duran. Oh. Yes. Roberto Duran. Grandparents are a blessing. Most of my Never met my great. Well, I met them, but I was young. Okay, my great grandfathers. I'm talking about Peter and Glenn from my mother's side. Never obviously met from my father's side. But my great grandmothers, Nana and Regina, was Sue and Regina Blackman, Sue Sherhall, and I love them dearly, especially both of them. But those three there again, Grandpa Pasillo, because I never did. My grandma Melendez is also, so I love all my grandparents. But Daisy and Raphael, again, I just, I still miss them hard. I do. So those are two that I would love to be able to invite to my house and have dinner, and Pasillo would have them and introduce my children how they are now. So it's a good one, and I love the history ones because I could do that too. But those are three. I would like to pick three people to talk sports with because clearly this isn't talking. But you see, East Century Boys is not just sports, Harrison.
No, it's life,
we talk
man.
about
It's
everything.
life.
We talk about everything.
Holy shit.
Grandparents are a blessing. See, and that's my thing. Here's a great question I saw in here, and who was your role model growing up? Again, that would be with the grandparents. I could go both my grandfathers, Raphael and then Mike Sherhall. Nothing's better than sitting, I'd say sit at the lap of your grandfather, sitting with my grandfather, Mike, and just talking about life and then talk about life lessons. And I mean, I remember, he didn't say this to me, but he said it to people. And that's something I hold to in my marriage is when you tell people, when he said, I heard him say this before. And when he says like, never get between me and my wife, you're going to lose. He said that to somebody 2 occasions, and he lived that. I mean, and that's how I keep my marriage, but there's other things that he taught me, how to be respectful and to be a man and whatever. And where Raphael, he was just full of love but he led by example. I mean, that guy was a true American story coming from Cuba, getting his first home in America with his wife, my grandmother Daisy, and working until the final month, or I don't know when it was. I don't want to say it wrong, but he had cancer and he was in pain and he was sick, and he still went to work. There was no excuse. He went to work and he did that. So my best role models, I would say, are my grandfathers, Raphael and Mike Sherhall. Mm-hmm. That's for me. Alex, you're a great role model.
My role models were my parents, and to me, it's funny because like sometimes you grow up like you and me, you grow up in 2 different worlds, and we had no clue, and to me, like when I locked the door and I went inside my house, I had 2 individuals that made me feel that I was part of everything as a kid, and they didn't spoil me, which I'm grateful for. Did I ever go a day without eating? No, I didn't. We always had food on our table. Did we struggle at times? Did we lose everything as a family at times? Yeah, absolutely. So you go through the ups and downs, but it taught me the perseverance. It made me the man I am today. It made me, it gave me the concept of what life is and could be. And not every shortcoming is an end to something. And you always, there's another day tomorrow. How you act today is how you need to act tomorrow. And what you do for others will be done for you. You never know. They taught me the ultimate respect of a human being. And that's what I think that I value the most. They taught me how to be a person and to understand people, to respect people, and to understand, which is, to me, is pretty cool because I know some people are struggling with this now in our current times, to respect everybody from every walk of life. They expose me to absolutely everything, to see the value in a person for who they are, not for what they can do for you or what they can do for others, just for who they are. So it just gave me a broader perspective of what life is, and true peace and happiness, growing up, and things that you aspire to be. Obviously, did they have flaws? I think all role models. I saw a question there: the difference between a role model and an idol. Someone is an idol. You just see an image, and you want to be that image. A role model shows you the way and shows you how to be, who to be, and the reason that you're that person, and that lets you be. Sometimes your idols, like that's what my dad would always tell me this funny phrase. It's like sometimes you just want to keep it at the artist. You don't want to meet the artist because you like the artist. You don't like the person. So those are the things. Even as a basketball player, and things of that nature. You like the athlete, but you might not like the person behind that athlete. So there's a lot of things that I believe that's the difference between role model and idol.
Let me say, Anthony, my role model when I was younger was actually my best friend's great grandfather. He was a Purple Heart recipient during World War II. He's a part of the original CIA and was originally OSS. That's awesome, man.
That's
An interesting
great.
one. Three dolphins, dead or alive. So if I had to say 3 dolphins who I would
Ooh.
love to have dinner with, I mean, I would go with Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, and it's between.
Could it be coaches too, or just players, or just
Dolphins, I guess coaches, right?
Anybody.
Coach.
Okay, cool.
I mean, because if it's see, now you got me thinking, because I want to say I'm gonna miss out, because I would love to. I met Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas, and they're both awesome dudes, and I would love just to be able to break bread and talk football and talk, whatever. They
Zach
seem like
Thomas in person is insane, dude. That guy has no neck. He's just muscle.
But you think of coaches, and of course you want to say Don Shula, right? Because Don Shula was the mastermind.
Yeah.
But if I could sit down, I mean, Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, but if you could put me down with like Mike McDaniel, have dinner with Mike McDaniel, think about how fun that would be. And
man.
just how entertaining it would be, and how he would be able to, because he probably coach you up. He'll probably you'd be like, oh, this isn't. He goes, well, let me tell you why that's not the case, and you'd be like, okay, I want to coach me up.
Anything. You talk about anything.
So that's my 3. I'm gonna roll with that. McDaniel, and then give me 2 former Dolphins and Taylor and Zach Thomas. That'd be an interesting dinner.
It's funny. One of the cool things, actually, I did Tony Nathan's blinds like a few years ago in his home. Really cool person.
Yeah.
Down to earth. He's amazing. So I met him. I didn't have dinner, but they were having dinner while we were working. So I won't count that one as one. Jimmy Johnson for sure. I've always been intrigued by Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, see, that's a good one.
Jimmy Johnson to me is above. Dan Marino, because Dan Marino looks like he has that sense of that irony, sense of humor, that ironic sense of humor, where like you can sit down and you get to know him. Like he's a cool person to chill with, and the stories he must have is amazing. But now you see Rick. I'm torn. I would love to talk to Ricky Williams. That's true. Ricky Williams is an interesting. Damn. Who else? For sure Jimmy. For sure Dan. And I'm gonna say, damn. Wow. There's a few. Intriguing conversations, Bill Parcells. But that's more of a football talk.
And Bill Parcells, even though in a press conference he's boring as hell,
yeah,
but he is unbelievably smart when it comes to football and the type of advice you can get from him. I'm going to ask an interesting one. That's a fun one. Well, first off, okay, Harrison says Stephen Ross. That's interesting. Well, and I think Stephen Ross, money. Dave wants that. Jason Taylor wants that. Ooh, I like that. This one will be interesting, and I think Harrison might like this one. And this one's kind of dangerous. Okay.
Oh boy.
But we've said this before, Alex, and we're both loyal and all this. But
yeah, absolutely.
Just answer this first. Top 3 or just one? Answer that way right now.
Top 3.
Okay. Top 3 women you would risk it all for.
Oh man, there's wow, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. Can we narrow it down to sports? Like involved in sports somehow?
Well, unless there's an athlete.
I got my top 3 right there.
Athlete? You're talking athlete?
No. Like sportscaster or journalist.
Yeah, anything.
No, but okay, I'm gonna narrow it down just to the sports world, because it's simpler, because there's a lot of.
You better hope your wife doesn't hear this.
Really
that's right. We're risking it all now, just talking
risky,
about it.
bro.
That's why
For sure.
I thought I know Harrison's gonna like this. That's what I'm saying.
One of them is Taylor Rooks.
Taylor Rooks. Let me look it up.
Taylor Rooks. Yes.
Okay.
She's an NBA reporter.
I love how you had that pretty quick though, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Taylor
Look it up.
Rooks, American Jewel. Okay. All right. Yeah, she's beautiful. Yeah, I see.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna keep it in the sports world. I want to keep it sports world, so that way I'm narrowed. I'm narrowed there. Definitely Joy Taylor. She's one of them. She's one. Of them.
Your mother's ass.
She's one of those for sure.
Yeah, Joy.
Joy
sure,
Taylor,
yeah.
which is Jason Taylor's sister.
Yeah, Joy. Yeah. You can talk sports with her. She's smart. Yeah, all of the above. Yeah.
That is above and beyond.
Dolphins fan, Heat fan. You know.
And you know, kind of like it was intriguing to me because it wasn't at first, but then she seems really cool. Is the basketball player that she just got married to Darren Waller from the Giants. Kelsey, is it Kelsey Plum? I think it's Kelsey Plum. She's a WNBA player. She's married to Waller.
Okay.
That's one of those. I just kept it in the sports world so we can keep it sports themed. Because there's other options somewhere else, you know. There's a few here and there. Dolph Freaky.
Oh, stop. No. She's awesome. She's a sweetheart.
Oh, Angel Reese, I gotta give it to you, man. Angel Reese.
Try to keep it fun. Dolph Freaky's a friend. Good.
Yeah, she's cool people. She's cool people. She's very pretty.
Very pretty. But Joy Taylor, I I could see why you guys say I'm nobody for me. I wouldn't risk it all for nobody. I'm a happily married man. I would never
absolutely
go there. So just fucking with you.
We should have prefaced it.
How dare you, Alex? I'm happily married. I don't know why you even answered that question. No. Shame on you. Yeah, that's right. Alex didn't make it last night. He was okay, I'm gonna say 2 sports, and I'm gonna go with 1. Obviously, there's a lot more. I don't know who Angel Reese is though, and then she's an
LSU player.
Let me just say I know who Angel Reese is. Okay, I get it. And I just want to say, preface this too. All respect in the world. This is a fun question.
Yes, we're just joking around. Our wives will do the same thing. They just do it in the private chats. Like, come on.
Doesn't hear that. She's probably not listening right now, Anthony.
Tati has a list, man. Tati has a list.
She's probably not listening, but she knows what she says. What if I say something, Joy Taylor? She's definitely on board with Jason Taylor. It's just a joke, and it's all good. I'm not scared. I'm a little scared. Not gonna lie, I'm a little scared, but I think I'm okay. I haven't heard her walking yet. So, but Joy Taylor, I would say, is 1 for sure. Alex and I have, and again, it's just not obviously beautiful, sure, but I mean, intelligent, talks sports, Dolphins fan, sports fan. I mean, secondly, I'm gonna go old school here. I'm gonna go with Stacy Keibler.
Oh, okay.
More old Stacy.
I got you.
One of those top 3. I mean, you got Stacy.
I thought you were
Tori.
gonna go Rachel Nichols. I'm like, okay, I can see that.
No, Stacy Keibler, Tori Wilson, or Trish. One of those 3. But Stacy Keibler for sure. She's just beautiful. And then third, I would roll with, and that's an actress. I'm going Gal Gadot.
Oh man, Bob.
Wonder Woman, dude. For sure. Oof. That's my top 3. I guess I'll roll with those. With all respect and love in the world, all blessings, happily married, just a part of the conversation as we all
just
do.
Just a funny combo.
Trish Stratus, though, but Trish Stratus, all 3, Tori Wilson, Trish Stratus, Stacy Keibler, and this is all respect, aged like fine wine. They are still very beautiful. And they're doing some amazing things right now. Tori Wilson is a fitness person now, and she's doing all. I mean, Trish Stratus just had maybe the best match of the year, wrestling Becky Lynch in a cage, she all credit, power to them, man. But I thought that would be a fun question. Probably get in trouble later with our wives, but I thought it was fun. Who cares? We'll live.
Lita. Lita is the bad girl.
What was your first? I see this. I was trying to find it, and I can't. And I hate to ask it. I'm trying to make sure because we all have it. I don't know if it was your first email name or your first username. Because we all have it when you first got your name, you always kind of, you put that funny thing. What was your first email or username?
Dude, oh my God. I think my first username was something like Pimp Life or some shit. It was like some
Pimp Life?
Pimp Life. It was some stupid ass shit, man. For sure. Pimp Life 305 or some shit like that.
Okay.
Piamp Life. I think it was Piamp Life.
Piamp Life?
Yeah.
Why? Why Piamp Life?
PIAMPLYFE. And obviously we did the 1 capital letter, lowercase, capital letter, lowercase. Which is so funny to me now, because now in those conversations, when you do that, it's like a person's talking to you like this.
Talking trash, talking shit. Yeah. Mine was, I think, can you guess what mine was? Do you remember
Immortal
what mine?
One.
There you go. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah. You see how everybody knows it? It was Immortal One 1988. Was my first one. It was Immortal One. And again, history of the Immortal One name was because we did backyard wrestling back in the day. and we had a lot of fun with that. And that was my name, was Immortal One Robert Michaels. And 14-time world champion, was the best. I defeated Alex multiple times. Harrison.
The only reason we designed everything together. He wrote the scripts, but he still cannot get over the fact that I'm the first ever undisputed champion. Did
I send you? I think I did. There's obviously I live in Tennessee now, and I said this the other day, is that I still get that quote unquote, you want to say the bug, because it was so much fun, and I how much we grew up loving that shit, that wrestling, and I was like, man, that's fun. When I see Harrison, me and Harrison go at it all the time. We have a blast. I wrestle with my son all the time. I gotta send you a video of Tristan doing a Hulk Hogan-esque leg drop on me. He jumped real high and dropped it on me in the room yesterday. He's really good. It's one of his finishers. He does the stunner, and then he does the like 3 leg drops, and then he does a frog splash. And that's his finisher. But there was this thing in Tennessee. I sent it to Harrison for sure, but I didn't believe it was like Tennessee TBW, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling.
Holy shit!
And they do kind of like we did. Except they have a real ring. I mean, it's flatter, but they got a thing. But they do the whole segment. They do commissioners and all that. I was watching it the other day. I came by it randomly, and they're like, "Who's this? Oh my God, he's here!" And the guy comes running out, and this guy, he calls himself Nature Boy. I don't know if it's Ricardo Flair or Richard, but he was a Hispanic guy. And he's dressed like very handsome. And he comes running out, and he's doing. And I'm looking at this, and I'm laughing, but at the same time, I'm going. I sent it to Harris. I go, I think TBW needs an invasion. I think EWF need to go lay in some smack it down.
Our old ass walking in.
Can you imagine me with my bum hip and Harrison with his, crushed knuckles?
Knees, man. I feel my knees.
You got cuts on your knees. Hey, man. It'd be fun though. But I saw that reason. I was like, hey, I started going.
Fun times, Bob, and it's funny because I know we've talked about this before, that whole the whole picture of the bikes, and that was that last time that you played with your friends and you never knew it, but. Dude. There was a last time we had a match and we didn't know it. We didn't.
Turning back the clock.
Time. There was that time that we did our final match production and we had no clue. It was just, that's it. It was over. It was over after that.
What sucks is What sucks is in that regard to that bike, putting up your bikes, or maybe for us putting up the basketball for the last time. I don't remember the last time, and that's what bothers me the most.
Well, to me, it was the day before you left to Melbourne, when we were in the trampoline hanging out. That was it was one of those days because you were leaving, and that's the day you finally left, and you never came back down. When you remember I paint on your face and all that, good times.
Oh, you're talking about after my 19th birthday?
Yeah,
really? Was that it?
I think that was the last time we actually played. No, what do you mean your 19th? That wasn't your 19th birthday.
Yes, that was my 19th.
Were you 17 when you left to Melbourne?
No, when I officially left. No, that part when you drew on the face and I woke up because that was 19 years old. That was 19.
Oh, okay,
right?
Okay.
No, hold on.
Are you sure? I thought it was you're going away. You were driving up to Melbourne.
No, it was a birthday. It was a birthday party.
Oh,
yeah, because Buddha was there and
that's true. That's true.
We were jumping on the trampoline. Harrison kicked me off the trampoline.
That's true.
So I was drunk. It was the first and the last time I was ever drunk.
Man.
It must have been 19 because I think it was 19, and I got to go back because there's a picture of you, me, and Davey with the red cups in our hand. And yeah, I have to find it. Maybe it's on Facebook. Maybe I could pop it in very quick.
I remember that day we were going because Nikki was part of a play, and we were going through a few movie theaters. Remember that?
Yes.
Where I kicked Nicky out of my car because he started fighting with Harris.
Well, that was before. Was that before? Because Nikki wasn't around. I know that. I remember that.
Remember that one?
No, it was not. It wasn't 18. It was 19. It was 19. It was 19. If you're saying 18, I know for sure because 19 keeps coming in my head. And I want to find that picture because it must say it on here. This stupid thing. Where's the albums? Do they not have albums no more on Facebook? I never go on Facebook too much to post pictures of the kids.
It's funny to me. I don't have Facebook, and my mom has Facebook, and I look at her. I'm like, damn. It's I don't know, man. I've been pretty good with social media and all that. Doesn't intrigue me. Bobby has always told me the story about him turning 19. Did he tell you the full story, Tati? Did he tell you the full story? So
it was 19. But I don't see any album. I don't see the album. I'm trying to see where we used to have.
Did he tell you about the strippers in the shed? No.
No. No, there's no strippers in the shed. Shut up. No, there's not. That's a lie. That's not true at all. It's like,
After you passed out, Bob.
oh, after. Well, that's different. I don't.
Oh man.
No, it wasn't 18. It was
I'm not gonna lie,
19.
It was a scary time. It was a scary
It was
time.
19 years old. I remember because I was just confused by 19 because I don't know because I forgot what age I met Tati. I think maybe it was 20. I met Tati. I'm not sure when I met the year I met Tati, but
Did you meet Tati when you moved, when you went to Full Sail, or you already have been there a year?
No, it was it was our first class.
Your
behavioral
first class.
Science. Yeah, behavioral science is when I met Tati. I remember the first time. I don't remember a lot of things, but I do remember the first time I saw Tati. And remember, I don't remember anybody else, but I do
Was
remember.
it love at first sight, Bob, or no? Or interest at first sight?
Yeah, she was pretty. But what got my attention was that she had this oversized backpack. She was walking in because she's and I was like, and then when we first started talking, I was 21 when I met her. Okay, so when we first started talking, it was when I got intrigued, and I got interested in regards of not like I like her, but more of like I would get to know this person more because we hung out the next day. We were in the back lot having fun and with New and those guys. But yeah, I remember the first time I saw her was when she walked into the behavioral science class. I was already sitting down. Her and April were walking. So, but it was 19. I'm sure. I'm gonna look up the picture. I have a picture of you, me, and Davey.
Okay.
Taking that. You had a buzz cut.
Oh.
And yeah. But anyway. Fun times. Let's see if we get one more in here.
One more in. I love this. We should do one show just questions.
Oh, dude, right? Yeah. With one viewer.
And Harrison commenting. Bro, I don't get it. Harrison, why are you commenting? You didn't come on the show.
Hater. No, I'm just kidding. He's probably watching. Sorry, my cat just jumped on my dog. Oh, I thought that was dirty talk. I was like,
yeah,
what? I was like, hold on.
Typo?
He's probably watching, just waiting for me to get off so he could call me to tell me to play Madden. He's beat me twice now. I was 6-0 against him, and he just beat me twice in a row, and he's been happy about it. It was so funny. Let me see. He can't live with the defeat. He needs a win.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't want to come on. He told me because he said I'd be talking shit. You know what I said, Alex, and you're going to get this. I'm not going to go into the story, but when I was on the phone with Harris, I was having dinner before our show, and I'm trying to find a question here, but I just thought this would be funny. You get this. Yeah. And my dog got out when they let the dog out of the crate. Tati thought the dog wanted to play with the kids, but the dog ended up going to the cat. And the cat's old, Nina's been around for ages. She got pissed and she clawed the hell out of the dog, and the dog barked, and they took the dog out. So I was like, "What happened?" Tati told me, and I said, and I had Harrison on speaker, and I go, "Well, you play with fire, you're gonna get burned." And I go, "Right, Harrison?" Harrison's like, "Yeah, fat little funny ass." Like all offensive.
It's like
open a can of worm, boy.
Good times.
All right, let me do this. I'm not going to worry about. I'm going to leave those questions on here. But what I want to do this is that what is the we just talked about it earlier with that Showtime or Winning Time. But to you, what is your favorite? What is your favorite TV show on television right now? Favorite show on television?
Holy shit! Favorite show on
Close
television.
It out with that. Yeah.
I saw everything. I saw all the seasons basically like within a week of each other. But the Jack Ryan series on Prime, I love that. But my favorite series right now is Untold.
Untold. What is that?
The one on ESPN. The one that they're doing.
No,
not
okay.
ESPN. Sorry, Netflix. Where they're doing a series of like the last one was the Swamp Kings, with UF and Urban Meyer and all that. So I would say, because I always like those documentary type shows, but other than that, we stopped watching, but I'm really into Yellowstone. Like I've started seeing Yellowstone. So it's not current, but Jamila, we started watching also Jury Duty. I don't know if have you seen that? Where everybody, it's really funny. everybody is an actor except one juror, and this whole series is revolved around that. Everybody's acting, including the judge. Everybody except one juror. If you can't look it up, it's pretty funny.
Okay. Okay.
Jury duty. It's funny.
The one I would say is what Tati just put in there is Only Murders in the Building. Have you ever heard of it?
Telling me? Yes.
Yes. Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez. Great show. If you haven't watched it, Alex or anybody, I tell you now, if you got Hulu, put it on. You won't stop. What's great about it is obviously Steve Martin and Martin Short. I mean, how can you get better than that? Those two
One
guys,
of the best comic
legends.
duels.
Yes. But it's like Tati said, it was like that game, Clue. You know, there's murders, so they're trying to investigate that, and they're doing a podcast about the murders. But the show drops hints. You know, you got to catch on to the hints. This season we're on season 3, and Paul Rudd and Meryl Streep are on this season.
Oh man!
So they're new, and Yellowstone is really good. But last season was, man, of course, the drama that's going on right now. But anyway. Only Murders in the Building. Alex, any final thoughts before we close it out tonight?
I'll say this: very happy, obviously, with how our Dolphins performed. Excited for hopefully a culmination within the next 2 weeks or 3 of the Dame Lillard situation with Miami, which I do believe is going to happen, and just hoping for winter. Excited for winter here in Miami. Hopefully, it cools down a little bit. We're watching a few storms here and there. To make sure that we're clear for the rest of the hurricane season. But just overall, there's nothing better to me than this time because baseball's still around, but now you got football in full force, and within a month you got basketball again. So this is an exciting time for sport fans. This is kind of like you survived the summer, and now you're going full football season, full NBA season. So we have a lot of content.
Absolutely. It doesn't. Yeah. So much to talk about. And, guys, again, if you haven't yet and you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button, hit the notifications button. We have a show. Oh my gosh. Every day now.
Every day.
We have content. Whether you're into professional wrestling, professional football, college football, basketball, sports, soccer, we have it all. If you haven't yet we do have a podcast channel now. I got to start uploading some episodes. It gets a little backed up, but we're going to get some great content up on there. The shows that you miss here live, you'll catch up on there after. If you're interested in talking sports, hit me up. We're growing. We're excited about it. And of course, I can't wait to watch the rest of this season. The Dolphins play the Patriots next Sunday night in New England. The number one offense in football. It's Sunday Night Football against the Patriots. It's under the night lights, so it's gonna be a big game. I'm not gonna sleep on the Patriots, and I think as we get closer, I know there's gonna be some hype, but I think hopefully the Dolphins don't overlook the Patriots.
Bob, one funny, not one funny question, an interesting question. Does the NFL, because I'm oblivious to this part, as an ignorance in my part, does the NFL have the option to opt out of certain primetime games? Like for example, Jets have a bunch of games primetime. If Aaron Rodgers is not around. Do the teams or do the networks have an option just to switch off?
I think some. I don't know if it's all games, but I know for sure they do. I know there's some games. So it's called what do you call flex? It's flexed.
Yeah, those flex.
Where they say, "Hey, we're going to put this game on during the day." I don't think early. I think later in the season it rolls in like that.
Okay.
Where they could flex a team out and put another team on the night game.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Jets
it'd be
Bills 16-13. Holy shit! Wow.
Wasn't it just 16-? I thought the Bills had 16-3. So how did they lose 3 points? Am I crazy?
Who?
I thought the Bills were leading 16-3 before. Am I crazy?
Oh
wow. Okay, no, it was 13-6. Now it's 13-16. The Jets. What the hell?
Wow, man.
I'm just gonna say. I will say this. I'll say it now. I know it's week 1. Same thing goes for the Dolphins. You had a great game. It's only week 1. It's good to get hyped, but it's not a good look on the page on the Bills because they're going against the Jets. But Alex called it. He's expecting a drop off. Maybe this is the start. But until then,
McDermott's not going to finish the season as head coach, Bobby. I'm telling you, Ken Dorsey's going to get fired. And I'm telling you, there's changes coming.
There it is. All right, guys. Harrison is saying that Miami Sports had a great weekend this past weekend. The Hurricanes blew out Texas A&M, and then the Dolphins.
Electric.
Absolutely. It's a great time.
Ralph was there in person. He told me.
Oh, really? There you go.
Oh, yeah. He was there.
It's a great time to be a Dolphins fan. It's a great time to be a Heat fan. It's a great time to be a Hurricanes fan. Damn it, it's just a great time to be a Miami fan.
Inter Miami fan.
Inter Miami fan.
Push.
Woo. Oh, and then the Heat after that. Hey guys, all that above. Tune in next Monday night. We'll be here talk Dolphins versus Patriots, and hopefully the Damian Lillard trade. We got so much to talk about. We'll have more fun questions, and hopefully that's football cereal. Let's make sure we write that down, Alex.
Yes, we got the cereal awards.
Yes,
cereal of the week,
game of the week, cereal of the week.
Madden loading. Get on. Look at this guy.
Bro. We need cereal awards each week. Okay. All right, guys. Harrison, you give me a minute, though. I got to just check on the kids and all that, and I'll get on and make sure everything's all right.
He doesn't want to play with me, man. We're going to talk. We're going to talk after.
Oh, that's right. We do have a call after this. No, I'm just kidding. He's freaking Alex, man. Best man, bro. Godfather. He got the first child. That's all he did.
Yeah. That's it, bro. That's the only topic of conversation, man.
When I said, Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Like and subscribe. And until then, we will see you next Monday night. Fins up, Dolphins fans. Later.